Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.
Hello and welcome to the Expert Interview Series, and today we are excited to have with us Mr. Ravichandra Annigeri, a distinguished learning and development leader with over 18 years of experience working with top global organizations. Mr. Ravichandra has been recognized with the 101 Most Iconic L&D Leader Award 2023 and the Best Talent Development Program Award 2022. Currently working as Deputy General Manager, Expleo Solutions Limited, Mr. Chandra has held pivotal roles in companies like Capgemini, Maverick System, where he has led strategic L&D, vendor management and talent development initiatives. His deep experience in coaching, facilitating and implementing cutting-edge solutions has made him a thought leader in L&D domain. Welcome to the Expert Interview Series, sir, and hope our viewers get to learn from your experiences.
Thank you, Pooja.
So, the first and the most important question that we want to ask is, can you share a bit more about your journey in learning and development and what inspired you to pursue a career in the domain of learning and development?
After completing my engineering degree, I was not very keen on getting into a L&D role. My initial focus was more on getting into a developer role. However, the industry was impacted with recession, due to which I was not able to secure a position as a developer. Instead, I joined an organization which is a reputed training institute, and I became a faculty member, which marked the journey of learning and development. So initially, I was not so enthusiastic about my role. Over a period, I realized the impact of learning and development on individual growth as well as the organization growth. So as I grow in my experience, I realized the impact which is created by L&D on developing individuals, organizations through structured learning programs.
Right.
I realized at the early stage that it is not only the technical skills which are very much important to the organization development. There are other skills like leadership and communication, etc.
Right.
So I started my focus on organization development, leadership development, and creating a culture of continuous learning. So over a period in last 2 decades, I have been managing various interventions at a large scale, mainly on technology transformation, leadership development, and upskilling and reskilling initiatives.
So it's more like a mentorship role now. Earlier it was, you have to do this, but now the things have changed over a period of time, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
So, given that you have a lot of experience, it's about 2 decades of experience, what major shifts have you noticed in the way organization approach leadership and development and talent management?
Yes, there are several shifts happened in the last 2 decades. The first thing I would say, the leadership development approach has been changed. Now it is more of personalizing the leadership programs. Right. Identify those needs of an individual leader who was part of the leadership program, understand his unique problem and address that through a specific learning journeys. The second shift is, gone are the days of the traditional and classroom based or instructor based learning approach. Now it has been completely replaced by the advent of AI and the digital learning platforms. Right. So the organizations and the employees needs more flexible options. Right. And which is being provided by these AI-enabled learning platforms. Right. So this is another second shift. And when it comes to the talent management, now the talent management has become more strategic. So it is not just, you do a program to develop the needs of the existing requirement. It is more about strategic in nature, where you focus on developing a leadership pipeline, especially things like succession planning. Creating the leaders of the futures are the much more focused area in the current industry scenario.
So, as we see that, of course, trends have changed, things have changed. We've shifted to more of a digital mode all the way. So, what kind of challenges do you face? I mean, are there any specific challenges, for the shift that has occurred over a period of time? Or was it an easy transition?
Transition is not that easy. First thing is, today if you look at our workforce, right, the majority are millennials and the Gen Zs.
Right.
So their attention span is less. So you need to come up with a very much flexible option where the learning is like on the go. For example, things like micro learning modules, right? Things like bite-sized content.
Okay.
These are something what this current workforce needs. And we have catered to that with the various learning platforms available today. So it is like micro and mobile learning are the future. And these are the one which is addressing the current challenges.
Thank you so much, sir, for bringing that to notice. Of course, we all observe that time span of learning has also reduced. Everybody wants to learn quick and move. So moving on to one of the more important questions, how do you identify training needs of an organization, and what role does skill competency mapping play in this process?
Training need analysis begins with a strong understanding of the business objectives, right? And also, what is the gap or the requirement of other departments? So I begin with interacting with all the stakeholders, maybe one-on-one interactions, or I'll also go through a data-driven analysis like employee surveys, performance reviews, and the competency assessments, right? So these are other areas where I pick up the input and try to address those through various ways of interventions. However, when it comes to skill competency, this is the integral part of this entire process. Skill competency helps you to understand what is the current skills of an employee and what is the desired level expected by the organizations. So running this skill competency mapping will help us to future ready for the organizations, ensuring that the employees are ready for the upcoming challenges which organization may face. So as an L&D leader, you need to understand these gaps, address it through impactful training programs which are more relevant and adaptive in nature.
That brings a lot of task on hand, because if you have, we have different departments. So the L&D has to identify needs based on different departments, and based on their requirement, then plan the training programs accordingly.
Yes, exactly.
Moving on to the next question, as we discussed about the mapping, skill mapping and competency role that has been played. In your experience, what are the critical factors that contribute to the success of leadership development program?
There are several factors which will cater to the needs of the focused leadership development program. The first one is when you are designing a leadership program, ensure that it is aligned with the strategic business objectives of the company. That means you are already addressing the organization needs. The second one is content is crucial. The tailoring the content is crucial. That means you develop a content which is very much unique and addressing the need of the leader who's part of this program. Unique requirement of each leader in the program.
Right.
The third one is identify other gaps through various assessment, be 360 assessment or leadership competency assessment. And these are called feedback loops. So you will get input through these various feedback loops.
Right.
And finally, every leadership program, when people go through these programs, this should be more real world approach, right? And the people should be able to go back and apply what they have learned during the program. And they should receive continuous feedback, coaching and mentoring from their peers or through their leaders, etc. So these are the key factors, what I believe very much important for leadership programs to be successful.
I'm just asking out of curiosity, are there any challenges when you implement such training programs?
Yes, exactly. Let's say if I am doing a batch of 25 people,
right.
Managers of each individual come up with a different expectation. So we need to understand each one's expectation, customize a program, give this input to our the vendors or the people who are delivering this training, and customize the program accordingly and set the expectation at the beginning. So this is always there. And year on year, things will change depending upon what the industry expects. So if I go back, 2 to 3 years back, the way our leadership program is doing, we will not have topics like emotional intelligence or ethics or sustainability. So today we are talking all those things. We will have separate session on emotional intelligence, things like innovative program, design thinking, these kind of the programs which are more relevant in the current industry scenario have been incorporated in our leadership program nowadays.
So given the challenges that of course are there in training programs and there are ways to handle it, how do you measure the effectiveness of training programs and what metrics do you use to ensure continuous improvement?
So I use a combination of both qualitative and quantitative approach.
Correct.
I began with measuring the participation rate, completion rate, and the employee engagement, etc. for the program. Then the other way is getting the post-training feedback, post-training effectiveness we say. It can be done on 30 days, 60 days or 90 days post-training completion. So this will also give you how they have applied the knowledge during their work, or it also helps you to understand the knowledge retention as well, right? The other way of identifying the impact is, how they are delivering on the project. What is their performance on the project level? Is there any innovation they brought in, right? What kind of impact they have created? These things are other ways of measuring the training effectiveness. Also, when it comes to continuous improvement, the feedback what we receive has to be understood and then has to be implemented in our upcoming programs. So we need to be adaptive in nature by implementing this, whatever changes we brought in, and make our program more flexible, more adaptive in nature. That will add more value to the program as well as to the employees.
Correct. So, of course, there's a lot of things that you have shared. What advice would you like to give to aspiring L&D professionals who want to make a career in the industry?
My advice to the aspiring L&D professionals is to be curious and embrace continuous learning themselves.
Right.
So today the industry is changing rapidly. You need to be focused on the key trends on the technology front, understand the AI and its impact on organizations, on the learning development, on the HR altogether, and also on the employees. So we as an L&D professional, we need to understand that and try to leverage these technologies in our day-to-day work, as well as how I can add more value. Rather than running a program like a check in the box, I need to be more interactive, more collaborative with the stakeholders. Right. So as an L&D professional, you should have a good relationship with the stakeholders within the organization, so that you will get the right feedback at right time and you can implement it. And always your programs will be more focused towards meeting the objectives of the organization, right? And try to give some metrics on whatever program you are running or whatever interventions you are doing. It should be measurable outcomes which has to be presented to the leadership. So they will be able to see the impact what you brought in as an L&D professional. Right. So these are the suggestions I have for the L&D people.
The 2 points that I could capture is, you have to practice what you preach, because you are of course asking people to be trained, but you have to first train yourself. That's also important. And keeping measurable goals, because at times we keep higher goals and if we are not able to succeed, then you yourself feel short. Right. So wonderful advice, sir. And moving on to the last question, which is very, very important, of course. Looking ahead, what trends do you see shaping the future of learning and development?
Looking ahead, I see several trends. One is the AI and data analytics, which is impacting the complete digital learning platforms itself. So one help from the AI is it will help you to curate the content, right? Personalizing the content, content curation, adaptive learning, paths. All these things are the support what we are getting from AI. So we need to leverage that.
Right.
The second thing is the shift is not only towards technology or domain. Of course, that's what is happening. The industry is rapidly changing. That is one of the major focus. But however, we as an L&D professional, we should also focus on other skills. Today in the current industry, they are called as critical skills. Things like critical thinking, things like curiosity, things like emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and communication. These are other areas we need to focus. When it comes to experiential learning, you might have heard about virtual reality,
Right.
augmented reality. These are the other areas, technologically they are supporting us to create an experiential learning, right? So without any, the employees can go through these kind of programs and they will get a hands-on, they will get a real-time feeling. So basically technical and leadership programs, we can get into these kind of methodologies, VR and IR, right? Then apart from that, the other thing most important is upskilling and reskilling.
Yeah.
Again, because the industry is changing, every day you get new technologies and then your workforce need to be updated as per that. So you should keep on running upskilling programs at regular intervals to ensure that your workforce are upskilled, up to date. And we are in a remote and hybrid work model. This model is going to stay, and we need to ensure that L&D programs are aligned with this particular model. Means whatever program you design, it will cater to the need of the dispersed and diverse audience.
Thank you so much, sir, for shedding light on such important trends and how people should cope up with the learning that is coming up, and they should adapt, upskilling themselves. Last question, I think that I would like to get to know more about. While you are hiring someone into the learning and development department, what are the 5 most important skills, or what are the skills that you look at while hiring?
The first thing is the attitude. Are they able to interact with the people? How flexible they are? Because in the current scenario for L&D people, especially people in the support function, you need to work with the delivery people from different departments. You need to be more flexible. You need to be more. You need to be a good listener, and you need to be having a very positive approach. The attitude is first, the positive attitude.
Right.
Second thing is, are you a continuous learner? How do you upskill yourself? That is the second thing what I'm going to do. Check. The third one, I would say, how can you create an impact? It can be the visibility, I would say, mainly. As an L&D person, you need a great visibility within the organization and also in the industry. So how are you going to create visibility, right?
Correct.
The fourth is subject knowledge. Knowledge about the role, knowledge about what is happening in and around, all that stuff. The fifth is your project management skills, which is very, very important to run any initiative. So these are 5 very important, I would say the skills which I look into any new hire for my team.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this is going to help a lot of aspiring professionals who want to get into this field, and with this focus in mind, they'll be better able to proceed and move ahead in life.
Thank you, Pooja. It was very effective, good initiative.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.